The history of Vietnam. Welcome to Kim's World Travel. Today, we invite you on an extraordinary journey through the fascinating history of Vietnam. In just 15 minutes, we'll explore the roots of this resilient nation, from its ancient myths to its modern-day achievements. Vietnam's story is one of determination, endurance, and lasting cultural pride. Let's dive into it. Vietnam's history begins with myth and legend. Over 4,000 years ago, the nation traces its roots to the story of the Hung Kings, who are said to have founded the first Vietnamese state called Vien Lang. As the rulers of an early agricultural society, they established rice cultivation as the backbone of Vietnam's economy and culture. Fast forward to the Bronze Age, and we find the emergence of a vibrant cultural period known as the Dong Son culture. Famous for its skilled craftsmanship, the Dong Son people created intricate bronze drums, many of which survive to this day. These artifacts represent not only artistic achievements but also suggest advanced trade networks across Southeast Asia. Vietnam's geographic location positioned it near China's powerful Han Empire, which conquered Vietnam in 111 BCE, beginning a period of Chinese dominance lasting nearly 1,000 years. During this time, Vietnam adopted elements of Confucianism, Chinese characters, and centralized government structures. However, the Vietnamese people maintained a strong and unyielding sense of independence. Iconic figures such as the Trng sisters, two women who led a rebellion against Chinese rule in 39 CE, became symbols of resistance. Similarly, Lady Trieu, often likened to Vietnam's Joan of Arc, emerged in the 3rd century to challenge foreign occupation. Finally, in 938 CE, Ngo Quyen secured Vietnam's freedom at the Battle of Bch River, marking the end of direct Chinese control. This victory established Vietnam's identity as a sovereign nation, setting the stage for remarkable periods of self-governance and development. Following independence, Vietnam entered a golden age under the rule of its dynasties. The Lai dynasty, beginning in 1009, was pivotal in strengthening central government and fostering Buddhism as a major cultural and religious influence. Tchenji Long, known today as Hanoi, was established as the nation's capital during this era. The Tran dynasty, 1225 to 1400, brought further prosperity while defending the nation against Mongol invasions led by Kublai Khan. These victories demonstrated Vietnam's military strength and strategic prowess. However, Vietnam also experienced turbulence. The H dynasty brought internal instability, and China briefly reoccupied the region in the early 15th century. It was Le Li, a national hero, who led the successful Lam Sen uprising, restoring independence and founding the Le dynasty in 1428. This dynastic era would prove fundamental in shaping Vietnam's cultural and administrative framework. By the 19th century, the Nguyen dynasty had emerged as the ruling power, unifying the country under Nguyen On, later crowned Emperor Gia Long. This period was marked by the construction of Hue as the imperial capital, showcasing the dynasty's focus on administration and cultural heritage. However, Vietnam soon faced threats from European colonial powers, especially the French. By the late 19th century, Vietnam became a colony within French Indochina. French rule introduced Western customs, education, and Christianity, but at the cost of exploiting Vietnamese resources and labor. Resistance to colonization grew steadily. Figures like Phan Bai Chao organized early nationalistic movements, inspiring others to fight for independence. This period of struggle began laying the foundations for Vietnam's eventual liberation from colonial rule. World War II dramatically altered Vietnam's trajectory. When France fell to Nazi Germany, Vietnam temporarily came under Japanese occupation. After Japan's defeat in 1945, a power vacuum emerged, and Ho Chi Minh declared Vietnam's independence on September 2, 1945. This declaration, however, marked the beginning of the First Indochina War. France, unwilling to relinquish its colony, clashed with the Viet Minh, a communist-led nationalist movement. The war culminated in the pivotal Battle of Dien Bien Phu in 1954, where Vietnamese forces achieved a decisive victory. This triumph ended French colonial rule but divided the nation into North Vietnam, led by the Communists, and South Vietnam, backed by the United States, setting the stage for the Vietnam War. The Vietnam War, also known as the Second Indochina War, began in 1955 and became one of the most intense conflicts of the 20th century. The war was fueled by Cold War tensions, with North Vietnam supported by the Soviet Union and China, and South Vietnam receiving aid from the United States. Key events like the Tet Offensive in 1968 revealed the devastating impact of the war on both the Vietnamese people and global perception. For years, civilian life was torn apart by bombings, displacement, and destruction. The war provoked widespread anti-war protests around the world, further challenging U.S. involvement. By 1973, with enormous pressure to end the conflict, the United States withdrew its troops under the Paris Peace Accords. Just 2 years later, in 1975, the fall of Saigon marked the end of the Vietnam War and the reunification of Vietnam under communist rule. The aftermath of the Vietnam War presented tremendous challenges for the nation. Economic sanctions, international isolation, and a devastated infrastructure made rebuilding difficult. By 1986, Vietnam introduced the IME reforms, pivoting from a centralized economy to a more open, market-oriented system. These changes transformed Vietnam, spurring rapid economic growth and improving living conditions for its population. Vietnam also began to reintegrate with the world, officially normalizing relations with the United States in 1995 and becoming a member of ASEAN, Association of Southeast Asian Nations. Throughout its history, Vietnam's culture has remained a cornerstone of its identity. Ancient capitals like Hanoi and Hue are preserved as UNESCO World Heritage Sites, drawing visitors from around the globe. Traditional festivals, such as Tet, continue to be celebrated with enthusiasm, showcasing the enduring spirit of Vietnamese customs. Arts like water puppetry and the timeless beauty of the Ao Dai, Vietnamese traditional dress, reflect the vibrant creativity of the people. Despite facing centuries of wars and external influences, Vietnam's cultural soul remains unbroken. Today, Vietnam is a nation transformed. Its bustling cities, thriving tourism industry, and growing influence on the global stage are testaments to its resilience and adaptability. Vietnam's history, shaped through struggle and triumph, continues to inspire its people to build a brighter and stronger future. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey through Vietnam's past. This story, filled with resilience, culture, and pride, reminds us that history shapes who we are and how we move forward. If you enjoyed exploring Vietnam's history with us, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kim's World Travel. There are countless stories waiting to be told, and we can't wait to share them with you. Thank you for watching, and until next time, happy travels.